Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies as we continue with Part 3, The Recovered Snuff-Box, from Book the Second, The Practice of the Mystic Tie by Albert G. Mackey. Part 3, The Recovered Snuff-Box. The following anecdote is to be found in the London Freemasons Quarterly Review. It is related on the authority and almost in the words of Brother Blaquierre, Provincial Deputy Grand Master for Bengal, a man who, at the patriarchal age of 93, gave the testimony of his long experience to the excellency of Freemasonry. A medical gentleman had realized a moderate fortune in the Brazils and, intending to return to England, he invested the fruits of his industry in precious stones, which were secured in a small box. This treasure he shipped on board a vessel, secured his own passage in another, and safely reached England. But, alas for him, scarcely had he arrived when he received the fatal intelligence that the vessel, on board which he had freighted his entire fortune, had been wrecked on the coast of Cornwall. Thus, in his declining years, the means of his substance had vanished from him. He had returned to his native land, poorer than he had left it. About a 12-month had passed, when, one day, a stranger called at his humble lodgings and inquired for him. He was admitted. The stranger, who was closely muffled up and appeared desirous of concealment, asked a few questions relating to the Brazils and others as to the circumstances of our hero, who felt somewhat disconcerted. At length, the stranger drew from under his cloak the identical box containing the lost treasure. His surprise and emotion satisfied the stranger, who, simply asking him if it were his, immediately delivered it to him and made a sign. All that transpired was that the box came into the possession of the stranger, who, on opening it, found at the top a snuff box with Masonic emblems and a name that enabled him, after much difficulty, to discover the real owner. The stranger took a hasty leave and was no more heard of. Conjecture pointed at the possibility of his being what is termed a wrecker, but the ways of Providence are inscrutable in teaching the powerful lessons of retribution. Masonry, as a moral engine, has elicited many mysterious instances of the power of the human heart, however depraved, to correct itself. But to the sequel, the snuff-box became dear to the party thus restored to prosperity, and in time it was bequeathed to a gentleman who, thinking that it should remain in the hands of a zealous Mason, presented it to Brother Blaquierre, whose successors will, no doubt, prize it as a sign and token of Masonic interest. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.